Have you ever found yourself chasing perfection only to realize that it's most commonly the imperfections that make something truly special? Today, I want to share a story that reminded me of the importance of embracing our flaws, whether in business or parenting or even something as simple as baking a cake. If you've ever felt like you weren't hitting the mark, this episode is just for you. Welcome to this week's Rocky Mountain Marketing Quickcast. This is your go-to source for actionable advice and the latest news in social media and digital marketing. Every Thursday in just 8 to 12 minutes, I'm going to be delivering quick, impactful tips to help you stay ahead in the fast-paced digital landscape. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back to this week's Rocky Mountain Marketing Quickcast. This past weekend, we were celebrating my daughter Vivian's 7th birthday. And as always, I made her birthday cake. I make the birthday cakes for all the birthdays for my daughters, and it's always a funfetti birthday cake. This year, every year I ask if they want to do a cake or cupcakes. And this year, Vivian asked me for something a little different. She wanted a cake with frosting in the middle. Now, just gonna put this out there, I am not an expert baker by any means. My homemade cakes are made with love, but they are straight from a box. And I was determined to make it special just for her. And of course, this last Saturday, not only did we have the birthday party, but my older daughter also had a soccer tournament. So I set my alarm and I woke up bright and early at 5 a.m. to make Vivian's special cake. And this soccer tournament, of course, was 45 minutes away and it started at 8 a.m. So time was tight with it, but set my alarm. I got up early, and as I started decorating the cake, I noticed something. As I was frosting, parts of the cake began to crumble under me putting more and more frosting on. And my round cake with frosting in the middle now had a whole bunch of bumps on it. And I was able to fix a lot of it with more frosting. And as I was fixing the cake that had crumbled and trying to make it round and covering up all of my mistakes, I started to lose a little bit of my confidence with my baking abilities. And to make matters even worse, as I was decorating her cake, I wrote Happy Birthday Vivian on it. And then I started to make some flowers. I was like, well, there's a big bunch of nothing here in the middle. Maybe I'll put some flowers on it. And I grabbed the red frosting and shook it up and got ready to make the red flour, and it just squirted red. I don't even want to say like frosting. It was just like the red frosting juice all onto the cake, and it was just a big red blob. And I was like, of course this is happening. Her cake's falling apart. There's a big red blob on it. And I stood there looking at my lame cake, feeling embarrassed that how on earth could I give Vivian a cake? As it was, her birthday was 3 weeks ago, and she'd been so understanding with us moving her birthday party back because of vacations. And then we had a family member pass, and she was just so understanding. And all I wanted to do for her was give her a great cake and a great birthday party. I was sure that her friends would think that the cake looked awful. It was embarrassing. I was caught up in the idea of perfection, thinking that anything less would be a failure. And it was around this time that Vivian came downstairs, and she came into the kitchen, her eyes lit up, and she saw the cake, saw me working over at the counter. She said, "Hey, is that my cake?" And as she came closer, she spotted the giant red blob in the center of the cake. And she asked, "Is that a balloon?" And I embarrassingly said, "No, it's supposed to be a flower." And instead of being disappointed or saying, "Ah, it doesn't look anything like a flower," she looked at me with a big smile and she said, "It's beautiful." And in that moment, it hit me. We are so hard on ourselves. We set these high expectations, whether it's in business, in parenting, or even something as simple as baking a cake. When we don't hit the mark, we feel like we've failed. But the truth is, those imperfections, those little mistakes, they really don't matter as much as we think that they do. What matters is the love and effort that we put into what we're doing. Vivian didn't see the bumps or the blob of red frosting. She just saw a cake that I made just for her, and she thought it was beautiful. And this experience was a powerful reminder to me to give myself grace, to embrace the imperfections that happen in our lives. And I want to talk about how this can apply for us in business because let's be honest, the pressure to be perfect in a world of social media is just as intense, if not more so, here is as entrepreneurs in the business world. In business, we're often striving for perfection, whether it's in our products, our services, or our marketing strategies, our social media posts. We want everything to be just right before we put it out there into the world. But here's the thing. Perfection is just an illusion. It's unattainable, and chasing it can actually hold you back. I want to talk about it in the regards to social media reels, TikToks. Let's talk about it in regards to short form video. I'm somebody that this happens to all the time. Looking at see, oh, well, why did I make that weird face? Why did I do this? Oh, it doesn't line up perfectly. I'm my biggest hurdle when it comes to just hitting post. I'm thinking about how it's not perfect. I want us all to think about it in the context of launching a product or service or hitting post. How many times have you hesitated to release something because you felt it wasn't perfect? Maybe the design wasn't quite what you envisioned. Maybe you didn't line up the video perfectly. The website wasn't as polished as you'd like. But by waiting for everything to be perfect, you might miss the real opportunity to make a real impact. The reality is your audience isn't looking for perfection. They're looking for value and they're looking for solutions to their problems. They're looking for authenticity, and sometimes imperfections are what make your brand relatable and human. People connect with stories, struggles, and the journey of getting there, not just the polished end result. In fact, many successful entrepreneurs and business leaders will tell you that their biggest breakthroughs came not when everything was perfect, but when they took risks and made mistakes and most learned from them. It's those moments of vulnerability and imperfection that true innovation happens. And now for a quick break. We've all heard that AI can change the way that you do business. If you have a podcast, if you have a YouTube channel, are you repurposing your long-form content to its full capabilities? And that's where Capsho comes in. Check out Capsho and how they can help you create more content by visiting katiebrinkley.live/Capsho today and start using Capsho and AI to work smarter, not harder. Just a note, if you use the links I provide, I may receive compensation. All right, let's get back to the show. For example, my podcast. I would love to forget that those first few episodes of Rocky Mountain Marketing didn't exist. They are me struggling. I did all the editing. I was trying to figure out how on earth am I going to talk for 20 minutes about social media? But I keep them there because I want us to all have the reminder that we start somewhere. Nothing's going to be perfect when you're getting started. And it's a reminder to me of where I started and how far I've come. It's all about improvement. It's all about getting started, learning, and refining over and over again. Another aspect to consider is the impact of perfectionism on a team's dynamics. When you, as a business leader, demand perfection, it can create a culture of fear and hesitation amongst your employees. Team members might be afraid to take risks or propose new ideas because they're worried about falling short of unrealistic expectations. Especially here at Next Step Social, I want my team to be creative and innovative. As leaders, we need to encourage our team members to experiment, to celebrate progress, and to view mistakes as valuable learning experiences. In the digital world, it's hard to continue producing perfect content. It's impossible to produce perfect content, but the pressure is there. And whether it's crafting the perfect Instagram post or writing the perfect blog or creating the perfect podcast, the pursuit of perfection is paralyzing. But this is what I want you to remember. Your audience doesn't expect perfection. They crave authenticity, connection, and realness. And if you're waiting for the perfect moment to share your story, you might be waiting for forever. One of the best ways to connect with your audience is by showing them the behind the scenes, the raw, the unfiltered moments that don't always make it to the polished final product. Sharing your challenges, your setbacks, the lessons you've learned along the way. This is going to not only build trust, but also is going to foster a deeper connection with your audience. Just like I learned with my birthday cake for Vivian this year, social media, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Showing up and being authentic is your best secret weapon for building your audience, for building your brand, and to build a know, like, and trust factor. Show up as imperfectly you, and that's the perfect way to show up. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. It's about taking action, learning from your experiences, and continuously improving. Don't let fear of imperfection hold you back from sharing your unique gifts with the world. Embrace the messiness, the bumps, and the red blobs, because that is where the magic happens. Vivian's cake, with all of its flaws, was perfect in her eyes. And in the same way, your imperfect product, your imperfect podcast, the message might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. So give yourself a little bit of grace to be imperfect, to learn and to grow. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.